Right, hello everybody, welcome back to Mindset Matters, episode 5 in 5 weeks, you lucky people. So I'm here with Mr. Lateef Badat at a secret location. And yeah, welcome to the show, Lateef, good to have you on.
Thank you, Michael.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure, it's an absolute pleasure.
So we've met up, when did we meet up? It was quite recently, wasn't it? Only a few months ago.
Yeah.
We met up, we went to Brockles, didn't we? We had a chat.
We did, fantastic day it was.
Yeah, it was really nice. So we talked about all sorts, you're going to write a book and all sorts of things.
Yeah.
So we're going to get straight into it.
Okay.
So you're known as the confidence coach, catalyst for positive change, inspirational business coach, ninja, all sorts of cool stuff. But we were chatting off camera and it's not always been that way, has it? So can we get a little bit into your learning journey? Because you've told me things that I think are going to surprise a few people.
Yeah.
So we'll go back.
Yeah.
Should we go back to the 70s? We go back to your primary school?
1870s.
1870s.
Yeah, child of the 70s,
Yeah.
full of energy, quite boisterous, or a lot boisterous. Growing up in those sorts of times, all I wanted to do was mess about, play. Parents were originally from India, hard work ethic, the importance of studying because they didn't really have the same level of education that's available here. But I was completely rebellious throughout that whole period.
Okay.
Probably wasn't just mature enough, quite naive in those days about, the importance of education, studying and what it might lead to later on. So all those things that we talk about now, about goal setting.
Just wasn't on the agenda.
Wasn't the agenda, I just wanted to have fun. And I remember somebody telling me that, I think it's in Scandinavia, I think some of the kids are only starting formal education around about 7 or something.
Yeah, no uniforms, start at 7.
Uniform, you go out into the woods, you play, and all of that nowadays, if you think about the learning my children go through, I've got 3 children, all girls, 9, 7, and then the third one is going to be 3 in summer, in August. A lot of the activities they do, it's all kind of learning through doing something. So if you're playing with sand, you're learning about one other thing, creativity and all, same with the numbers and all those sorts of things. So I think I would have been better off there. So I really struggled with school. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed all the sort of things that we used to do. But when it started getting a little bit tough, especially when we had to learn times tables and when things weren't coming naturally, my mind was like, I can't deal with this. I used to switch off. You find it very, very painful. Other kids were excelling, growing faster. I used to compare myself to maybe some of the other children.
So these days we refer to that as a closed mindset, wouldn't we?
Yeah, very closed mindset.
I can improve, fixed mindset. I can't do it straight away, I give up.
Yeah, very closed mindset. Got into the whole thing about hanging around with certain people that probably weren't best, but I thought were my best friends at the time in terms of they didn't want to study either. So we had a little clique of friends. So this is like primary school, right even to secondary school. The ones that don't want to study tend to, make fun of the ones that are serious and study, and you call them swats, all those like rude things. And I kind of was in that clique, and it took me years to realise that actually the ones that were studying and were putting the effort in and were putting the graft in, it helped them later on in life. So I learnt the hard way. My dad always used to say to me, I'm trying to give you all this advice, I'm trying to give you all these pointers, and you're not listening, you're throwing it all away. And he used to get frustrated. And a few times he said to me, you're one of them guys that will only learn through mistakes. And he's right. He was completely right. And as tough as that has been, it's probably the best way, even now, for me to learn.
Why do you reckon that is? Is it because someone tries to just give you this and you say, well, that doesn't mean anything to me, I need to have experienced it maybe?
Yeah, so whichever psychological tool you use, there's all these Belbin things and all those sorts of things, whatever I come under, and I can't remember exactly which one because I've done quite a lot of profiling and all those sorts of things, but I need to experience things. So if you was to show me how to edit a video, for example, but just talk me through it, and you was doing the bit, say, if you press this button and then do this and then do this.
You just wouldn't take it in.
I've learned, my mind's changed a lot since then, so I'd probably pick up a lot very, very quickly. But if you was to say,
have a go,
I'll give you a quick summary, and I want you to now start hitting the buttons all those sorts of things, my learning will be accelerated a lot more. So it's always been that.
Yeah, but so you finished. You didn't go to university, didn't go to college. So
I went to. So at high school it was the same thing. Detentions all the time. Just trying to play the fool. Trying to get laughs and all those sorts of things. Clearly it wasn't, I think the first 2 years of school I really enjoyed, but like I said, once the work started piling on and all those sort of things, I just wanted to do other things in the evening, not do homework. So I started doing lots of naughty things, and then started dropping out of class a lot. My final year at school, I was hardly in. I was actually bunking off. So I used to go to a school which was called William Temple. It's now known as Archbishop Temple.
Archbishop,
in Forward. Yeah. Just directly next to that was a college. Well, it's still there. It was called W.O. Chewson College. It's called Preston's College now. It's got an extra apostrophe S. So I bunked off that much in the final year of school in the 5th year that I was just a well-known kind of little celebrity on the college campus, that when I actually went there after leaving school, all the teachers thought I'd already done a year on some BTEC something. Wow. So it was quite difficult to explain what I was doing there last year. I used to take all my tie off, my uniform, put them in a bag, have a change of clothes. I used to get fed by, some of the guys in those days, all those sorts of things. So
bit of a rebel.
Complete rebel. But I really, really enjoyed it. Parents thought he's at school doing this, that and the other. Yeah. But, and then I ended up having to do a YTS because the grades weren't that good. I got booted out of college I went to college for a year, and again I had a chance to do a BTEC first diploma, and it's that whole mindset again of just being...
You just weren't ready for it.
Yeah, I just wanted to mess about. So there was another course slightly below, which we call CPVE, Certificate for, I don't know, Pre-Vocational Education, something like that. And I looked in the classroom, it's full of dossers. I thought, this is my bag. And I went in the other classroom, and it was BTEC first, loads of kind of people that you think you've got to knuckle down and study it. And the teacher pulled me out and went, Badat, what are you doing? You've got enough grades. So in my day, you had CSEs and O-levels, that's it. GCSEs or GCAs weren't around. So I didn't have no O-levels, but I had half decent grades for the CSEs for the little time I was in. So he said, you don't need to waste a year. Go on BTEC first, do that, and then you can go on a BTEC diploma. Basically, in a few years' time, you'd have something equivalent to a degree.
So you had that potential. It wasn't that you weren't capable.
Yeah, and but like I said, I went in the classroom, started looking at the people, and thought, I want a bit of a laugh. These lot are going to want to study. I don't want to study. No. A little bit, but I want to have loads of fun. So it's not like I just wanted to flunk the course, but I wanted to have lots more fun and get the qualification. I wanted to cruise a little bit. So he said, look, I'll speak to your dad. I also know my dad's away at the moment, so I just made stories up. In the end, he was really, because he believed in me. And this goes back to some of the things I do now in terms of believing in others and self-belief and all those sorts of things. So he was really disappointed. And I was thinking, I don't know why this guy spending too much time with me. Why don't you just let me sign on this, this other course? But he probably seen a lot of more potential that I realised, that I had more self-belief in myself. And he was, he made that very clear. He said, Lateef, you're just going to waste a year. And that's what I did. We messed about so much that out of a classroom of about 20, 25 people, I think there's only 5 people that passed the course. The rest of them were given kind of failures. We were told, all of us in no uncertain terms, that none of us, the other 20 odd people, would be allowed to apply for any more business courses just because of the behaviour. You could do any other course, you could have tried to apply, and then my dad was like, well, what's going on? How come you're not progressing? And I had to make some lies up and stories up about blaming the college and saying, oh, I've submitted everything, Dad. And then I took my dad down, rather foolishly, and the teacher explained everything, saying, a year ago I told you something this.
Told it as it was.
And Dad were like, get out. He said, right, you're no more studying for you now. You've wasted your chance. Other people that are dying to have a chance for education, you're depriving them of spaces and places. You don't deserve to study and all this sort of stuff.
Just learning the hard way.
Again, but because I was a lot older, a lot more rebellious, I wasn't that little kid anymore. My dad found it a lot more difficult to discipline me as well, you see, because I was kind of becoming a young man. So in the end, I signed up for a YTS course. I used to go to GEC 1 day a week to do typing. So it was me and 30 odd young girls, which was nice. Just typing ASDF, JKL, really, really fast. And then 4 days a week, I used to go and work in a company down Bamber Bridge, Walton Lee Dale Way, as an office junior. So that was my kind of first real job, because before that I worked in a bedding factory in between the college over the summer, and that was proper hard graft. You get an articulated wagon, it's just full of springs. So based on your mattresses, you've got the springs which are really loose, and then you've got the other end which are heavy duty. If you can imagine a heavy duty mattress, and you're literally no gloves, all your fingers are getting cut and scarred and all this lot. And it was like £35 a week, 5 days a week, 8 o'clock in the morning until about 5:30, 6. You get bonus for how much stuff that you get through, because I progressed to making shelves, drilling all these things. So you put all these shelves or cupboards that you slide into the divan beds, and I progressed from that to doing like working on a machine where you actually put you stitch the quilt. So depending on how much quality that mattress is, you have different layers. The better the quality, the more the layers. You strap them down, the machine stitches it, you turn it over, hand it to the other guy, he stitches it all the way around, there's your mattress. So you get, piecework type of thing, but it was hard graft, and the parents were kind of feeling sorry for me a little bit, but at the same time...
It's almost what you needed at the time.
It was a big wake-up call, but I enjoyed it. I was getting big muscles, I was really lean, I was earning my own money.
And it was different to what you'd experienced before, where you're just in a classroom and you were like, I'm not bothered about this at all.
Yeah.
This was different, you're getting money, you're getting to be more physically active, sense of responsibility almost.
Yeah, again, this whole freedom thing, I'm a guy that likes his freedom. I don't know where that started, maybe quite young, but you earn your own money, you can do what you want with your own money. I don't need to ask parents for money and all this sort of stuff. I wasn't into saving, even though the parents said, try and save a little bit. Everything my parents said was good advice. I decided to just not listen to it.
Because it'd be too easy, wouldn't it?
It'd be too easy to do that, wouldn't it? So yeah, there was all of that.
So it's a different world, you say, you're growing up in the 70s. And like you say, with education now, so much of it is, we're doing this because it's going to help you with this job prospect, it's going to help you with this. And children and young people have to think ahead in a way that almost you didn't. You had the option, but you kind of didn't. And you're telling me that, that idea of learning the hard way, then you're progressing into your first jobs and then getting married and then learning those things about almost that balance.
Yeah.
Because you started way out of balance.
Yeah.
So would you be able to tell me a little bit about, so you met your wife, obviously, and you got the young girls you love very much. How it kind of happened that you had to start considering these other people? Because up until then it was all about Lateef, wasn't it?
I'll tell you when my mind shifted. It was when I tried to apply for jobs when I was at the Evening Post. I worked at the Evening Post for about 5 years. I worked in the mailroom, absolutely loved that job. 2.5 years in, I got asked, there's a job coming up, we want you to apply for it from the boss. The boss looked upon me like I was her son. She did have a son, but he was in the Merchant Navy, she had a big picture, but I don't know, for some reason she took a shine to me when I joined there. I was about 18 and a bit, and after about a year and a half, I declined because again, I was having so much fun in that job. I thought, working because it was in the accounts department where I'd be working, the mailroom was under the accounts department. I thought, it's a bit too serious in there, you can't just get out and all those sorts of things. So I turned it down. So she then tried to persuade me, again, a parental thing. She sent one of the supervisors over and said, really, it's more money, it's better opportunities, and I was just like, no, I'm very happy here, thanks. And that cost me a little bit, Ren, because it wasn't until another couple of years before I actually got that opportunity again. So there was lots of other opportunities.
To re-earn it the hard way again.
There was lots of opportunities. I applied for it and all this, I didn't get it. And what it was is my other friends started to, who had the grades and all, had better jobs, started to earn better money, started going on holidays, started buying cars, and I was still the kind of dosser on the street corner after work. Limited opportunities, limited savings, and I thought, maybe I need to do something.
Don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, so the Evening Post used to have a job supplement, usually on a Thursday, and I used to bypass the first 15 pages, excuse me, because the first 15 pages were all grade A to C GCSEs.
And that wasn't you.
So I had to just skip because I didn't have those grades, and then you end up with like selling kitchens, selling bathrooms, canvassing, telesales, field sales. Jobs are very unreliable. They might say to you, 1 week is this contract, this much commission, another week it might be something different, and that's...
You just got to go with it.
You got to go with it. It wasn't so hot on contracts in those days. It was all verbal. People could speak to you as they wanted and all those sorts of things. So that's where it started. It got me to really, really think. So I started going to college. I asked my boss at LEP, can I go to college? And she said, well, when are you going to find the time?